Hello, welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals pregame show live from Gila River Resort's Wild Horse Pass here in the desert. I'm Johnny Venerable. It's Brittan Golden, the playmaker. We will be joined by my good friend, co-host Brack, in just a few minutes live from State Farm Stadium. The Arizona Cardinals attempting to get that first NFC West dub of 2023 in Brittan. It's taken a little longer than we might like, but folks in Vegas expect this to be about a field goal game between the Cardinals and the LA Rams.
Yeah, the spread is close. I mean, it's just going to come down to the offense again this week. Last week it was a little hiccup. Didn't look as good as Kyler's debut. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the offense getting on track, getting James Conner involved early, try to score some points early.
Cardinals need Kyler Murray, Hollywood Brown, that connection to take flight. They lost a couple of key defenders last week because your White injured reserve, like Fotu gone, Antonio Hamilton still out. And speaking of out, we're going to get to our injury report here in a second. Everybody hit that like button. Good to see everybody in the chat. Hope everybody had a phenomenal Thanksgiving holiday weekend. En route to this inactive list, Damon Dog, producer extraordinaire, Cardinals are going to be without a key number of defenders, including Antonio Hamilton. But then if you flip the script, the offensive side of the football, not much better. Michael Wilson, set to miss his third game out of 4. That's why you need that connection with Hollywood Brown to be there today. Maybe this is an opportunity for our guy, friend of the program, part of the program, Gregory Dortch, to get some targets. Who are you looking forward to seeing step up today for the Arizona Cardinals?
Oh, we saw a big game out of Greg Dortch last week, and I'm looking to see that continue again this week. I mean, Greg Dortch getting involved can always open up stuff for Hollywood too, because now you're going to have to start moving around, playing a little bit more zone coverage and move off the man. So, you know, they're going against a defense who's bottom in the league in pass defense. So, you know, we're hoping that we can get that offense rolling, get these receivers going, get the ball out of Kyler's hands and move it.
I like this comment from Jessica here. So tired of watching teams come in here and just blowing us up. The Arizona Cardinals have had minimal success against Sean McVay and the LA Rams. That's going to be a theme throughout the course of today. The Rams just 4-6 on the year, but are seemingly the kryptonite for quarterback Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has one win against Sean McVay in his career. That was at SoFi Stadium, early portion of 2021. He has never beaten Sean McVay and the LA Rams at State Farm Stadium. Jonathan Gannon does not have an NFC West victory under his belt yet. First-year Arizona Cardinal head coach. Would be a great day to accomplish a many of firsts for the Arizona Cardinals, albeit at, 2-8 right now, 2-9?
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, obviously you want to get a win at home, and you need Kyler Murray to get another win against Sean McVay, as long as Gannon needs an NFC West win.
He does.
He's got to get one this season before it ends. You don't want to go out of here being 0-for in the conference. So, I mean, I'm looking for today. I think the Cardinals have a good day today. They had, like I said earlier, they had a bad week last week offensively. Defense played well. Offense couldn't help them out. So I'm thinking that this week was a big thing for them. It was an point of emphasis for the offense to get going. So hopefully we can get out of here, get a win, get Kyler a win against McVay and get Gannon his first NFC West win.
Speaking of get out in here, get out to Gila River Wild Horse Pass Casino and hang out with us the entirety of today, the game day. We got the early games going. The food and drinks are immaculate. En route to our official watch party, starting with kickoff here at 2:05. And part of me, the reluctancy for me right now to pick the Cardinals is I need to see them do it. I haven't seen them do it. And it starts with blocking number 99, Aaron Donald. That brings us into the Bird Gang Blitz portion of the show, derailing Aaron Donald. How do they do it? Well, Donald basically came close to ending Geno Smith last week en route to the LA Rams victory. Rams don't score a lot of points, but they're able to control the line of scrimmage, Brittan, with the future Hall of Famer. Like, how do the Cardinals mitigate what he's able to do against Kyler Murray? Because he's had success time and time again when these two teams have faced off.
Well, we talked about it in the first meeting, right? Finding ways to double team, to chip with running backs and tight ends before they go out. But, I mean, Aaron Donald's a different type of player. They're going to move him around inside, outside, and he gets lined up on – they try to find a mismatch every time with him, which puts it in a bad situation, which is where your chip blocks from running backs and tight ends come in and help. If he's going to be on the outside, you've got to find a ways to chip and help those tackles out.
You can run at Aaron Donald. Like, it's not the best option, but it can be done. Teams can run on this LA Rams team. Where you're going to get in immense trouble, and we talked about it post-game show last week and then all this week. I don't want to see Kyler Murray consistently exposed in shotgun. I don't want to see him back there on 3rd and 12, 2nd and 10. I want to see this Cardinal offense going north and south. Like, they have the players to do it now. Setting the tempo with James Conner, Yelda Froldholt, Will Hernandez. I mean, like, your offensive line, say what you want about it, it's fairly well healthy right now. You've got the 5 that you want to roll with for the rest of the season. You've got Trey McBride. You've got guys that can help you be physical in the run game. I think, like, if we're sitting here at the halftime show here from Gila River Resort's Wild Horse Pass, and the Arizona Cardinals are getting dominated up front, I'm going to be very critical of Drew Petzing today and what he opts to do offensively.
No, agreed. I mean, I think you have to get James Conner started early here.
Yeah.
Because if you can get yourself in manageable third downs, I think you can win this football game.
Yeah.
Right? The third and longs, the second and longs, that stuff's not going to work. But you've got to find ways to get James Conner involved. You've got to find a way to get positive yards on first and second down to make the third downs manageable.
Hit that like button, everybody in the chat. Speaking of the chat, how about the super chat? Ben Cork, friend of the program. BG's flow is immaculate today. It looks good. It looks even better in person, though. So come down to Gila River Resorts and Casinos. How was your holiday, by the way?
It was good, man. I didn't do much of nothing. We made some food, sat down. Kids tore up my house. That's about it.
That's what that's what we're doing here today. We're gonna have some food, right? We're gonna watch a two-win team take on a 4-win team. We're gonna have a good time doing it in the process. I'm legitimately fearful for Kyler Murray against Aaron Donald today. Like, I hope we're able to sit here after 4 quarters and say, hey, that wasn't as bad as I thought. But he has been playing his best football to date, and Kyler Murray in the offense was rusty. A good way to flip the script is to go back to what worked against Atlanta. If you're Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray, that's Trey McBride. Trey all day. I think regardless of what's going on with Hollywood Brown, we'll talk about here in a minute, Trey McBride has to be the focal point in this passing game yet again. They got momentum seemingly every quarter against Atlanta going to number 85. I thought they went away from Trey McBride too early in the second half against Houston. I'm frustrated right now with this offense, but he is a difference maker. He's big and he's physical, and he's somebody that Kyler Murray has immense confidence in. Right now, I need to see it for 4 quarters today.
For sure, and he also creates mismatches. I mean, you can line him up outside. It's going to be a linebacker or safety that you put out there on him. And I don't think anybody on the Rams defense, linebacker or safety, is able to keep up with Trey McBride. He's also a safety blanket.
Yeah.
Right? If you find any type of trouble, just find him, check it down, get whatever you can get out of it, and make the next down manageable.
The LA Rams are incredibly susceptible to opposing tight ends, as BG just mentioned. They don't have the personnel to keep up with Trey McBride. If you're dabbling with our friends at BetMGM, take all of the over props for Trey McBride today. I think he gets in the end zone. I think he hits his over-under in receptions and receiving yards. If Drew Petzing can keep the train on the tracks today, it's going to be with number 6 and number 85. But what about number 2? It used to be 1 + 2 = 6 for the Arizona Cardinals. That has not been the case since Kyler Murray's return. Where the hell is Hollywood Brown? Can he be a Hollywood hero today? I put up a piece at PHNX Sports on YouTube talking about the future with Hollywood Brown. Does he have a future with Arizona? I think right now it's very skeptical that number 2 is back in the desert next year. He has got to ball out these next 6 games for the Arizona Cardinals without question. Because if he thinks, Monty Osford Company are going to hand him the bag come March because they have the money to do so, they're going to look back at games like Houston. Minimal impact. They'll look back at this LA Rams game. What does he need to do to kind of shake off this rust of not being an effective player this year?
One, he's got to get involved early. They got to find a way to get him the ball early, and he's got to make plays. The next 6 games that go on, he cannot be non-existent, especially if he's looking for a payday, because it's not going to happen. If he stays on the course that he's on right now, I mean, he's going to get offered a vet minimum deal, and it's not going to be what he likes, and then he's going to try to test the market, and it's not going to be any better outside of here. So for Hollywood, at this point, you've got to demand the football without looking too selfish on the sideline, but you got to demand the football, and then when it comes your way, you have to make the plays. You have to make the easy plays, and you have to make the plays that are not easy. Those catches that are out of your range that somehow you can get hands on, you've got to find a way to come down with it.
Am I naive to think, I thought coming into this year, because you've been part of, some pretty robust receiving cores, is it easier, in your opinion, robust receiving core, I'm the 2nd, 3rd, 4th option, whatever, I'm going to get mine because I don't have to go up against number 1 corners? Or is it better, he is clearly the guy today. Respectfully to Rondale Moore and Greg Dortch, we think they'll be a part of the offense. The expectation is he should be clearly the number 1 receiver today. Is it better to be in that position, or in a position where maybe you can fly under the radar playing with a Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden, et cetera? What do you think is better served for a receiver?
I think being the guy is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, that's what I think.
If you know you're the number 1, you're the clear number 1 for this team, that's the way to go, because now I know I'm going to get targets. I know I'm the guy when he gets in trouble. That's who he's looking for. I mean, look around the league. All these number 1 guys, the Keenan Allens, the Devontae Adams, all the Pukas, the Cooper Kupps, guys like that are number 1. they're going to find them. They're
Yeah.
going to find ways to get them the football and get them in situations to get it. Now, if you want to be that number one, you've got to find a way to get open.
Yeah.
If you're going to get put in man coverage and you can't get open, you are no longer a number one, which means that quarterback is no longer going to try to find you.
No. And, again, I think Kyler Murray has confidence in his best friend in Hollywood Brown, but, there's a reason he kept going back to Trey McBride 2 weeks ago. It's because he was making plays. Can Hollywood make plays today? The chat seems a little bit, uneven on Hollywood Brown. I would agree. Sports Hero saying Hollywood needs to live up to his name today. I agree with that. I agree with this. Fishbowl Flash. Panthers could use Hollywood. I think the Panthers are going to spend stupid money this offseason to try to resurrect Bryce Young's career. And they don't have the draft pick. So it's who can we sign? Who's a big name? I think, if Hollywood doesn't get what he likes from the Cardinals, maybe some team gets desperate. The Cardinals aren't going to be desperate. Hollywood just ain't fitting here. Unfortunately, it happens. Do you think he's just a bad fit for the offense? Do you think, at the end of the day, they want bigger, more physical receivers? That's what I think.
I mean, it can go either way, because if Hollywood was having a great year, none of this would be in conversation, right? It would be in the point. Now, don't get it twisted. He hadn't had his number one quarterback until the last 3 weeks of the season.
Correct, yeah.
So it's a little bit different when you're in an offense, when you're using backup quarterbacks to get involved, because now there's not much of a mesh or an agreement between these two, the quarterback and receivers. So, I mean, I'm looking, this is game 3, right?
Yeah.
This is game 3 with your starting quarterback, with your franchise quarterback, with the guy that you've been best friends with since college. This is where it's got to show up. You've got to find ways to start connecting, and if not, you're probably not going to be here.
I love this comment. Thank you so much, Austin. Hit that like button for the best Cards coverage. Thanks, Johnny and BG. Thank you. We're going to join the third member of our squad here. It's Mr. Bo Brack, live from State Farm Stadium in the press box. Is he available? There he is. Looking dapper today, hoping for the first NFC West dub victory of the year for Jonathan Gannon. Bo, how's the turnout at State Farm Stadium today, albeit a holiday weekend?
It's great, man. There's some good vibes in here. The roof is open here at State Farm Stadium, so the sun is shining. You got some elements, not so much elements. I mean, we'll see what that means for Matt Prater field goals. But, man, I was listening to you guys' debate conversation about Hollywood Brown. Johnny, we've been talking about it all week. I feel like this offense, it's kind of like a put up or shut up week. Got to see this team produce, but most important, see that rapport between K1 and Hollywood kind of come alive. It's paramount for this passing attack for those guys to get that connection going.
You saw the inactives, Bo. We touched on it briefly in our first segment of pre-flight today. Any surprises to you? If not, who needs to step up offensively and defensively with all these injuries? Michael Wilson, Lecky Fotu, Kazir White, Antonio Hamilton. What say you? Who's the biggest player that needs to step up in lieu of these injuries for the Arizona Cardinals?
Well, it's going to be Hollywood, right? And it's also going to be, we'll see what this new rushing attack looks like. I think they'll incorporate Michael Carter into the rushing game. You got Amari Dermicado back. I think it's going to be a heavy dose of the rushing attack this game. James Conner, Amari Dermicado, Michael Carter. You got a pretty stable set of backs there to get you going today. And they had some success last time, even without James Conner in L.A. I think they want to establish the run and then maybe get that defense to creep up and take those shots. Maybe maybe higher percentage shots to a guy like Hollywood Brown, Greg Dortch in this passing attack. Maybe Rondell Moore, a repeat of last week. But the one that's key is who's active. Is the late addition to the injury report yesterday. It was kind of Jalen Thompson, late addition after the game he had last week where he had 9 total tackles, a sack, and an interception all over the field. It's good to see him up and active for the Cards and in their secondary today.
BG, we talked about it throughout the duration of this week. The pressure mounting on Jonathan Gannon to win his first NFC West dub of the year. Pressure on Kyler Murray to play well in these final 6 games because he had an off week last week against the Houston Texans. Who's under more pressure today? Is it Jonathan Gannon or Kyler Murray, you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. Gannon needs his first NFC West win, right? Yeah. I mean, the fans want it. Everybody wants it. Upstairs wants to see that. But Kyler coming off a bad week, I don't want to say it was bad. He just missed some passes and he didn't throw the ball well at certain times. It was uncharacteristic. So I think a lot of it is Kyler. Most of it's going to land on Kyler today. You need to be consistent. You've got to make those easy throws. You've got to connect on the downfield throws and just look more like Kyler-esque football than what we saw last week.
Bo, this is another game missed for Michael Wilson. You had reported that they're ramping up Zach Pascal to have a key role in this offense. Is that more kind of tongue-in-cheek to say maybe they're going to run the football today? And is that the best method to have success against Aaron Donald and company? Because in my opinion, it's not sitting back in the shotgun throwing 40 times today for Kyler Murray.
No, absolutely. I think it opens up more opportunities for those explosive runs because you get those wide receivers downfield. You're not having, as many snaps for Greg Dortch, even though we're lobbying for that in the passing game, right? But as far as in the rush game, to get Pascal, get that next level blocking going, get James Conner out there and making those plays like he was earlier in the season going on down the field. Because last week there was no Pascal, there was no Michael Wilson, and there was no real true threat of blocking on the outside. Now you've got that today. I expect Zero to be in there. He's got some good-looking cleats. He looks pretty fly in the black uniforms. I think Pascal's poised to have a solid game for the Cardinals today.
That would be key for the Arizona Cardinals. What's key for Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon, I think, is to win this game today. We talked about it when Kyler Murray was activated. They had an 8-game audition for K1 and Hollywood Brown, some of these other players. This was a game, Bo, that we had circled like you should probably win this game. Injuries notwithstanding, BG and I were just talking about, like, the offensive line's healthy. I know you don't have, Michael Wilson, but Rondell Moore and Trey McBride and James Conner, like, this is a game, like, at the end of the day, they need to win, in my opinion. What would you say to that? Because I know they got the one against Atlanta, tough loss last week against Houston, but it's like they got to go to Pittsburgh. They got to go to Philadelphia, right? They've got a road game in Chicago that's probably a coin flip, Seahawks. And then, of course, at Santa Clara with the 49ers. Like, looking back in January, this is a game that, in my opinion, like, JG and Kyler Murray need to have a box checked. Am I wrong there?
No, you're not wrong. And I think that, with this team, with this roster, nothing is a slam dunk dub, right? But this is a weight class. This is a weight class fight right now where they're fighting their same weight class with the LA Rams. I mean, we know that sometimes they can make Matthew Stafford look above average, look like a solid quarterback, and maybe look better than his numbers suggest, 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Like, if they can make him look pedestrian to below average, if they can dial up some pressure, if they can make him struggle, turn the ball over, this is where the offense needs to step up, take advantage of that, cash in, unlike they weren't able to do last week. And it's going to be so important, especially at home, because you don't have the excuse of maybe a hostile environment and you may not being able to communicate at the line of scrimmage. It's so important that they cash in this week offensively into their opportunities created by their defense.
They got to make the most of their opportunities. Will the Jaguars cash in for the Arizona Cardinals? They've got a 3-point lead over the Houston Texans with just under 4 minutes remaining. CJ Stroud and company, they won't go away. I mean, this is the best rookie quarterback performance I've seen in my lifetime.
No, he might be the best. I mean, for real. I mean, the expectations that he came in with, and to live up to the hype and actually play higher than what he was actually projected to play. I mean, he's elevated that Houston Texans offense.
Yeah.
That might be the best Houston Texans offense since their franchise became a franchise.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's played unbelievable. He's never cracked under pressure. I mean, he's thrown last week he threw interceptions, but you never saw it, affect how he played the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. You can't say too many bad things about what C.J. Stroud's done.
The best thing you can say about him is he's in a conference far, far away, and the Cardinals don't have to play them for another 3.5 years. So you love to see that. Can the Jaguars hold it? We want to update. I teased it with producer Damon Dog off air. I might have jinxed it. We're going to update the Monty tracker for better or worse today. We haven't had anything to smile about in a hot minute. Houston trailing by 3 to the Jaguars, who face a critical 3rd and 7. I don't know where you guys are dabbling with your betting slips today. If it's not with us at Gila River Resorts Wild Horse Pass, get that sweet, sweet physical copy. You can just smell the victory, the winnings. If you're not doing that and you're out of the area, I'll forgive you as long as you're dabbling with our friends at BetMGM. How about some picks that are going to hit for you today? I did my best at the BetMGM Sportsbook app. These are Johnny's picks here in week number 12 for the Arizona Cardinals. Over 225.5 passing yards for Kyler Murray in this offense, minus 120 BG. I know you had dabbled on this even before we talked. So that's BG and Johnny's stamp of approval. I just think Kyler Murray is going to have a much more accurate, productive game through the air. I don't think he's going to come out and have an unperformance or under-radar performance like he had last week. I think he's going to be much more efficient, which is going to lead to some yak with guys like Trey McBride, etc. I actually like the under in this game. The Rams haven't scored over 20 points in a game since the last time they faced the Cardinals, and the Cardinals right now are a little bit allergic to consistently netting quality offensive performances together. It's just like what I said about Aaron Donald. Like, I have to see it with my own eyes. I would love for the over to hit, but right now the Cardinals offense and a little bit of the Rams. The Rams won last week without scoring 20 points. I like the over as a pretty safe bet. And then, we always give you one kind of make or break pick here. Big money, plus 750. Cooper Kupp, who is active, unfortunately for the Arizona Cardinals, first touchdown score. Is Marco Wilson going to be on Cooper Kupp? If I would basically say, can you live bet whoever Marco Wilson's covering for the first drive for the LA Rams, Brack, whether it's Puka or Cooper Kupp? But we didn't touch on that because it kind of goes without saying. Is there a way to stop this passing game with the Cardinals' lack of cornerback depth, specifically Marco Wilson having one of the worst years for an NFL corner?
Rush and cover, baby. You got to get it from the front seven. What you're not going to get in the back end of it. And, of course, I think we've seen Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson, Garrett Williams be able to cover some guys and Starling Thomas. But, yeah, you're right. If they're going to target 20 like they did in key situations last week, C.J. Stroud and crew, when they went away from Marco Wilson, good things happen. So that's your, I guess, silver lining as far as the Cardinals' defensive secondary goes and trying to slow down this passing attack. But I like your bets. I like the over Kyler passing yards. I even have that parlayed with the James Conner rushing total. It's 60. You parlay that, you get the boost on the BetMGM app, plus 165. I'm in on that. I'm locked in on that. Let's cash it. Let's go. All together. Let's ride together.
Let's do it. We always ride together, except when Bo dabbles on college football and doesn't tell me, and I will never forgive him for that. Any super chats lingering? Producer Damon Dog, are we caught up, my guy? We are caught up. Are you caught up on predictions for this game? Bo and I made our voices clear on Friday. We'll reiterate those points in a second. But, BG, I know you like the Cardinals today. Do you like them big? What do you think? Final score prediction.
A lot of it's going to determine how this offense comes out and plays early. I do like your bet with the under. I think the Cardinals can get to 20 points today. I think they scored 20 points. So I think as long as they can control, Aaron Donald on the defensive side and they can control Cooper Kupp and Puka, get pressure on Stafford, I think they can keep it a low-scoring game, and I like 20-17 Cardinals.
Bo, are you doubling down on your prediction of a dub for the Arizona Cardinals from Friday?
As you said, my college football picks. I'm hot right now. Let's ride the hot hand. Let's not, think twice about this. If the defense can continue the status quo, getting off the field, creating turnovers, and the offense obliges with some complimentary football, they should win today.
Right now, I think we're at a very pinnacle point of the season. It's weird. Kyler Murray's only been back for 2 games. Why would a team with 2 wins have expectations? I think the fan base is right here, a little bit on teetering zone. I saw some folks starting to shift their mindset, not only away from Kyler Murray, but also doubting Jonathan Gannon, being critical of maybe his decisions to go for it last week. I was not, the team was not, but basically kicking field goals instead of going for it. In-game management is going to be key against a guy like Sean McVay today, and I think a win would go a long way, regardless of what happens the rest of the year. I think a win today, everybody's going to be feeling good. If they lose, and in particular, if they have a really tough time doubling down on what was ineffective last week, offensively, right, in-game management, if Cooper Kupp and Puka are running wide open, that's going to be a tough look for folks at State Farm Stadium today. I have immense confidence in my head coach and quarterback combination, but I got to see it come to fruition. As Bo mentioned, you got to check that box today. This is a make-or-break game. This is a fighting in your weight class analogy. I love that. I love the super chat. PR Mac, $5. K1 gets the football to Greg Dortz. Let's get Connor 20 rushes. You would think it's that easy. They're productive every time they do that, PR Mac. We're productive every time we go live here from Gila River Resorts at Wild Horse Pass Casino. Hit that like button. We are back. Myself, BG, for your definitive Arizona Cardinal LA Rams halftime show, and, of course, the postgame. Bo Brack live from State Farm Stadium. We're live here from Wild Horse Pass Casinos.
Did you see Howard Balzer's note there? It's no Marco Wilson starting today. It's going to be a starting cornerback tandem of Keitrell Clark-Back and Starling Thomas. So the Rooks getting the looks today.
Bench City.
I like it.
Don't bench us. Come back, halftime show. Come out to Gila River Resorts, Wild Horse Pass Casino. If you're in the area, if not, hit that like button. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. We'll see you at the half.
We all silly like the mayor.